I go to sleep last night very frustrated, but of course now I've got videos out there. I've got, you know, people who are techies who I know. I've got moderators who I know who are into this stuff. So I'm like, I'm rest assured. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I'm going to have all my answers, right? I 100%, I figured this is exactly what's going to happen. And that's literally exactly what happened. Okay. Hold on. Cause I just overpoured. I overpoured my seltzer. I have to drink some of this before I spill it. Okay. So are you ready? Here's the big ultimate solution. Here's the problem, and here's why my capture card wasn't working. Are you ready for the drum roll? It doesn't work because... That's the wrong thing. It doesn't work because the motherboard is a cheap piece of shit. I didn't do anything wrong. I installed it properly. I put the correct drivers in. But the motherboard on this PC is a cheap piece of shit. So it won't work with it. And you might say, well, I don't get it. Isn't that true? I mean, isn't it good? It's a gaming PC. You spent a lot of money on it, right? So you would think that the motherboard is good. You put it in the slot, and it's the correct slot. It's a PCI Express slot, right? Yes, except here's the problem. With these pre-builds, they tend to try to skimp out on certain aspects of it in order to cut corners and save money. This particular PC has an insanely good graphics card, a pretty good processor, a bunch of great cooling, good RAM, but they cheaped out in two spots. The motherboard and the standard SSD that it came with. All right? So even though I have two PCI Express slots, they don't work right. They're basically incredibly underpowered, low-grade PCI Express slots. They're not meant for full-powered devices. So I have two of them, and they're literally worthless. Like, they might as well have just removed the goddamn slots from the motherboard because they don't do anything. You can't plug in other things besides, like, you know, you have the one graphics card. That's the full-fledged slot. The others are basically bogus-ass slots that don't really do anything. Maybe I could put in, like, a USB expansion card, and that's it. But it won't do anything else, okay? So how fucking dumb is that, right? That's incredibly stupid. Now, what's funny about it, people looked into my gaming PC because they were like, gee, maybe what you could do, because you may not be aware, the components in my new PC are almost identical to the components in my gaming PC. The graphics card is the same graphics card. It's a really good one. The processor is the difference. In my capture streaming PC, it's a Ryzen 7 AMD processor. In my gaming PC, I think it's an Intel i5. It's an i5 or i7, I don't know. But it's an Intel processor. That's like the only real difference. Besides that, they're almost the same hardware. So they looked into it, and they're like, could you put the capture card into your gaming PC? And they looked into it and get what? No. Because my gaming PC also has a lower end motherboard where I have a slot, but that slot would not work with the capture card. So with both PCs, both of them, I can't install this internal capture card. So they're making gaming PCs today, pre-builds, that have like top of the line stuff in them, but you can only use what's in them. If you want to expand, if you want to change or upgrade, you're very limited with what you can do. You can't really go crazy. I guess the best way, if you want a fully customizable experience where you can add stuff, you need to build it yourself. Now, I've already explained to you guys, listen, if this were 20 years ago and I were a younger man with more time and patience, I probably would buy all the components myself and I would build it live on stream and I would do, but I'm not. I'm 42 years old. I need to be able to, stream every day. I need to be able to make content, and I'm not a PC builder. I don't think anyone's going to care about me doing a series of streams building a PC. I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm stuck with pre-builds. Okay. Plus, I know for a fact if I did do it to myself, I would do something wrong and break something, and it would be very frustrating. All right. I already have enough stress with the pre-builds that I have. Can you imagine if I was sitting here for 4 weeks? Okay, not 4 weeks, but probably like 2 days, building these PCs from scratch. I'd probably lose my mind. The thing is, I used to do it. I used to build gaming PCs. I felt it was very fun as a hobby. I had a lot of good times with it. but I don't want to do it today as a 40-year-old. Okay? So, basically, here's the deal. I cannot use any internal PCI cards at all with either of my PCs. The motherboards are shitty. In addition to that, I found out that the SSD, it's a 1 terabyte Kingston SSD that came with this PC, this Skytech PC, is crappy. It's slow. It's the slower version. What do they call it? Like NV2? So it runs at like 1 rate, but actually the Samsung SSD that I purchased, the 980 Samsung, runs at twice the speed. It's an NV3. So I was actually told what I should do is put all my capture stuff onto the other hard drive. Like instead of running OBS off of the operating system hard drive, I should put that onto the newer hard drive because it's going to run faster. So I probably will do that. What I'm probably going to do now, I'm going to uninstall the capture card. All right. I'm just going to return it, which is, thank God I ordered it off Amazon because now I get a real easy return. All right. So that's no problem. I'll be able to return it very simply, no big deal, and get my money back. I'm going to go into the PC. I'm going to uninstall everything. I'm going to uninstall all the Elgato software, the drivers. I'm going to uninstall OBS because I did install OBS last night just to test it, and the capture device wasn't working with that either. I'm going to uninstall OBS. Now I'm going to install OBS again, but I'm going to install it onto the expansion hard drive because it'll run faster off of there. Okay? So you might say, well, wait, what are you going to do? How are you going to capture? I've had enough. It just sucks because I really wanted to feel like I had the top of the line stuff, but I'm not allowed to have that. I guess unless I spend an insane amount of money, I'm not allowed to have that, and I don't want to drop $2,500 to $3,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to get another external capture card. I'm not going to use the one that I'm using because the one that I'm using basically only does 4K 30. So 4K resolution, 30 frames per second. That's all it will do. I would like the ability one day to capture 4K 60. Okay. And I want the fastest speed, and that one's not the fastest speed. It's a good capture card that I'm using right now, but it's not the fastest. So I have already purchased the highest end AverMedia external USB capture device possible. All right. It's the same brand that I'm used to using. It's not Elgato. It's AverMedia. And I'm used to using this. I know how it works in OBS. I've used their software before. I get it. I know how to get it to work. Okay. It's going to do 4K 60. It's going to do 1440p 120. Actually, I think this thing actually does 144, but I'm never going to do 144. And then it does, obviously, 1080p 120. So it does everything I want. It's going to have all the features. The only bummer, it's going to be external. So once again, I'm going to have an external capture card sitting on the floor or sitting on, right now, mine is in the middle of the floor on a box. Okay. It's going to be a mess. There's nothing I can do about it. It's frustrating as hell. But when you have a shitty motherboard like I have, both of these motherboards apparently are not very good. You're limited with what you can do. And someone made the point in chat, well, there's companies that you can pay and you tell them specifically what you want and then they'll build it. You're right. That's how I got my $3,000 PC that lasted me 10 years. I told them every component that I wanted in that PC, and I think the price tag started off like $2,200, but by the time they were done, were telling me, oh, you need this, this is what's available. It ended up costing $3,000 after tax and delivery. So I could pre-build my PC. You're right. I could pre-build. I could get a custom-made, pick everything I want, and it would probably cost me around $2,500. And then by the time it got here, it'd be $3,000, which I'm not. The whole point of getting this PC was getting a deal. This PC used to be $1,900 and it was on sale this week for Black Friday for $1,500. So I got $350, $400 off the price tag because of Black Friday. That's how I was able to get it. I wasn't going to drop $3,000 for a gaming and capture or a streaming and capture PC.